Far from Vesuvius podcast. That's Ralph Pizarro of Calcio Napoli Club. Just rant about Napoli.
Let's go for it.
We're gonna rant. We're gonna match report. We're gonna talk about the games. We're gonna talk about topics. You leave comments, and we'll read your comments out. Question.
All right, quick stats.
Yes, throw the stats up there. On to a nice little segment that we're gonna call the Beast of the Match.
Who's beasting it for the Napoli team? Let's see.
Follow us on Facebook, Raffaele Rispo, Ralph Pizarro, Twitter at RaffaNapoli83. That's me.
CNC USA 26.
I want some feedback to the show. What do you guys want to see? What do you want to see more or less of? This is going to be a show for you guys too. I want a lot of comments.
We want to rant about something. Let us know if you want us to rant about something.
I promise you, we're not going to agree on everything all the time.
We won't.
We're going to yell at each other every now and then.
Come and rant. This is what it's for. We want to give you a space to let loose so you can do it here.
Well, that's going to do it, Ralph. Were we boring enough for you?
I don't know. I think we were great.
Let's get to it.
Madonna do Carmen, aiutici tu.
Questo segna la prima volta che il Napoli è negli Stati Uniti dal 1982. Pensi che sia un viaggio importante per il club e pensi che i tifosi ti abbiano salutato bene?
Sì, per me è stata un'esperienza bellissima. La prima volta che veniamo qua, ripeto, è stato bellissimo, i tifosi ci hanno accolto benissimo e spero che nei prossimi anni ci saranno altre partite che ci possano avvicinare ai tifosi che vivono lontano e non ci possono seguire.
Grazie.
The question was that this is the first time Napoli is in the United States since 1982. How has this experience been? Have the fans saluted you well? Lorenzo says that yes, this has been a great experience. The fans have done a great job, and he looks forward to maybe playing in the United States again in the future.
And welcome, fellas and bellas all over the world, to another episode of the Napoli Rant. I'm Raff Pizarro, joined by my co-host, the Vicar of Vesuvius, Raffa Rispo.
What's up, Raff Pizarro?
What's going on? Good to see you. Good to be back, you know?
You too. Yes, it's good to have you back. I can't do this on my own every week, man. Come on. That's
no
ridiculous.
way. But you did great. You held down the fort. Super happy about that. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Let's get this rant on the road, man. Thanks for stopping by. Big shout out to all our audio listeners. And boy, it's good to be back, guys. Sorry I missed you.
Yeah.
Lots of crazy kind of emotional weekends for most Napoli fans, especially considering that we saw the last home game possibly for Lorenzo Insigne happened, and it was a great send-off. I was super happy about that. Packed stadium, great show, great effort, big trophy. Yes. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some Cafanata a little bit. We'll touch about the game. Maybe it wasn't the most important game, but we did clinch third. We'll speak about that a little bit. Yes. But yeah, man, let's get into it real quick, Rafa. We'll go quick about the game, the aftermath. We win 3-0. Goal by Lobotka. That was really cool.
Yeah. Lobotka's goal made it. Yep. Osimhen again with the head. Took the mask off after to show that the mask doesn't affect him, and actually it might even help him a little bit. No.
Do you think it's for the photos?
No, I mean, listen, it's maybe an intimidation factor. He's fine. He's doing good.
All right.
But yeah, man, more so many goals from him, from the head this year, which is great. Something that we need him to be in the middle of crosses, to get to. Mm-hmm. You mentioned Lobotka's goal. That was cool. We might go a little deeper into the Insigne goal since this is the Insigne episode,
Yes.
Something that thank you very much. Both of us. We're dripped out today, aren't we? I got the Insignes in the back here.
I love it.
The Maradona. You got the last year's Maradona. I got the Capitano. The
Fascia Capitano. Got the armband. Who has the armband? Nobody got drip on like that, man. Nobody got armbands, man. Only Rafa.
I mean,
and whoever you gave one to, like that's gotta be the drippiest. the drippiest piece of like article of clothing or article of drip that you own. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Dude, Carmelo said possibly he'll be back. You said, because you said possibly the last home game. It's definitely the last home game for the season, but he might have something going there. Possibly, LOL, he'll be back. Well, my cousin said the same thing. What if he spends 2 years there and they just isn't working out or whatever? He's not happy, and he asks for a transfer back. And unlike ADL, he'll go ahead and spend some cash on Insigne. I doubt that's going to happen. But
aren't we like somewhat optimists and try to at least keep all possibilities open here on the Napoli Rant, Rafa? I mean, like
we are. You're right. You're right.
We are. So I might as well. You never know. You just never know. I mean, he might. It's cold in Canada, and us Southerners down over there, we may be like, yeah, I don't know. I want the beach, but the MLS season doesn't run in the winter, right? So I wonder.
No, it ends. It ends. Normally ends like beginning to mid-December. This year I think it's ending in like November. Because of the World Cup. I think it's ending like late October, early November because of World Cup in November. Yeah, but yeah, no, they usually take the winter off and come back in March. So
right,
yeah, there you go.
Love you too, Peter. Thanks for
that. I did want to before we go on. I wanted to mention the video at the beginning of the show. I'm sure everybody that was on early. Yeah. That was my interview at the press conference against Barcelona in 2019. It was the day before the match, right before practice. And you saw it, you heard it. I think something that was really, really telling was how Insigne at the end of the answer to my question was he looks forward to coming back to America to play again. And only 3 short years later, it's happened one way or another.
Was that some kind of foreshadowing, you think, Rafa?
It could be foreshadowing.
Insigne knew? Maybe Canada knocked on his door earlier, right?
They caught wind of the answer to my question and was like, huh, maybe we got something here. I got to tell you, I didn't recognize that until we played it just now.
We played it just now?
that was something that I was like, wait a minute, I got to use that.
It's like when you go back to a movie, like, oh, I forgot about that part. Oh, that.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Exactly.
Oh, man, I love this one from Keller, but I'm sorry, Rafa.
No, go ahead.
Read off this.
No. You go ahead. We'll
Caller, Insigne going to be a snowbird, play in the summer in Canada and spend the winters in Miami with Beckham.
Ooh,
and
Miami with Beckham and soon to be Messi. I don't know if you heard that, but the big word right now is that after his PSG deal is done, he's going to Miami FC. Or Inter Miami, or whatever, with Beckham's team over there. So that's big news. I mean, the MLS is doing what they have to do to get these players, man. I mean, they are. I know a lot of people consider it a retirement league, and it might be for some, but there is money to be made there, man.
Mm-hmm. That's especially for these foreign players. I love this one. You've been dubbed Raffstradamus by Pasquale Napolitano. I love that.
I'm telling you, yeah, Raffstradamus. I was the first one saying, "No way, he's not going to Toronto." I'll get Insigne tattooed on my ass in a Toronto FC jersey if he goes. And look what happened. I might have to make do on that bet that everybody is telling me.
Messi to Miami.
Yeah, it's fake like birds. Dan D's already starting with the birds. The birds nonsense. But
what if he just wants to chill? What if he just wants to chill by the beach, South Beach, Messi? Maybe he'll be like 38 or 43 on Inter Miami, something like that.
Yeah, that's be crazy. I mean, listen, I fully expect Ronaldo to go there too. There's also talk of possibly Chiellini joining New York City FC, which would be really interesting. Chiellini comes to dude.
That'd be crazy.
There's some talk about that. He's
why not?
He's done. I think he's done in Europe. They had Juve had their. We all saw my Twitter video for celebrating the Juventus last minute draw against Lazio. That was really nice.
Congrats. Congrats to Chiellini. I fucking hate you. But go on.
Yeah, hey, listen, he comes to New York. I
Sorry.
might have to change my mind. I don't hate Chiellini. I can't.
Might have to start.
I can never hate Chiellini.
I don't like him.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't hate him.
Is it because of Italy? Is it because of the Italian national
team?
It's
because of Italy. Yeah, it's because of Italy. Also, it's because him and Cavani got into a lot of battles back in the day. You know, Cliff.
Sorry, Cliff.
Listen, him and Cavani got into epic battles back in the day. But you always saw them after the match, you know, props each other, exchange jerseys with each other. So I think he's got, I think he gets a pass. Listen, when you put the Azzurri on of Italy, for me, you get a pass no matter where you play. But once you put those black and white stripes on, you can go F off. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. There's like I got into it with a few Twitter people about Del Piero. Like they were trying to say Del Piero's final match was the Serie A game against I don't even remember who, and it wasn't. It was against Napoli in the Coppa Italia final in 2012 where we beat him. We sent him off his Juventus ways with a Coppa Italia L. You know, but I made sure everybody knew I love Del Piero. Del Piero is one of my favorite players growing up, and he's a Juventino. I understand that, but when you put the Italy blue on, I don't care. And I feel like everybody feels a way about Insigne too. You know,
may I, Cliff? Sorry,
yes.
Love the respect. Listen, Cliff. I'm not jealous of the statement because this man respects everybody, but when we were covering the Nazionale during the Euros, I gave Chiellini beast of the match. All right. Like, I don't doubt his talent. I just don't like Chiellini, the person. The player is fine. I mean, he did great for Juve, did great for Italy. But I did give him we gave him the beast of the match here on the show. And we recognized his contribution to that Euro. And I think the defensive effort between him and Bonucci quite possibly won us that trophy. At least that was for me, the number one catalyst of winning.
Right.
And I love
absolutely.
You too,
and I got we all love Cliff. How can you not? Yeah. But you know, for me, Chiellini was the embodiment of the team. You know, he was the guy with that. And listen, we can get into this too. We can get into this maybe at another time. But I have a lot of words as to our next captain, and I can correlate that with Chiellini later on down the road.
We will definitely do a special episode.
Yes. Well, we have a lot to talk about in the off season. You know what I mean? But let's keep it about Insigne. You know, he. But like Chiellini for me, with Italy, I would expect Juventini to feel the same way about Insigne on the Italian national team, or anyone else on the Italian national team. When they put the blue on, you have to respect them.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I know they didn't make the World Cup. They didn't make the World Cup last time out either, but they get my respect when they put the jersey on. And I feel the same way about a lot of Italian players. So there you go.
All right, I'll read this off from Cliff just because. For me as a Juventino, most people don't know that Insigne is one of my favorite players. He's someone I can actually like myself too because he's not some physical specimen. He's 5'6" and a baller. I know me
he's
and Cliff
5'6" and he's a baller. Exactly.
Me and Cliff are like vertically challenged. I'm 5'6" too, so when I see that man, I can't give him hope. Cliff, we got to go check. Wait, I don't know. You're not from New York, right?
Yeah,
Cliff? We gotta go.
Yeah, he is from New York, but they don't play. They don't play again here, Toronto. I think they might play the Red Bull while he's on the team. I mean, he's not joining until I think like late June, early July. I'm not 100% that they're going to play here, but at some point we got to go. Maybe we take a trip up to Toronto. I did see Bertillo said we welcome the Raffs to Toronto for Insigne Day.
It's got to happen.
And so Cliff says he's flying to Toronto. That's the plan. Well, listen, if Cliff's going to fly to Toronto to see Insigne, I don't see why we can't go to to Toronto to go see Insigne. Or drive, take a ride up. You and I can take a ride up.
Raff, I always said I think the best way for like the different factions of Tifosi is we all need to pick a neutral team outside of Italy and root for them, and I think that can help with the public relations.
Toronto. The thing is for me is I'm such a New York City fan, man. I love that team. I love it, and I don't want to say that we're like crazy rivals, Toronto and New York. I do. Here's another thing. I have had an affinity for this Toronto FC team. When they had come si chiami, Giovinco on the team,
right?
They had Giovinco on the team. I was, Marco Cubani also really kind of like helped me get into them because he worked with them, and we were always like chatting back and forth about NYC in Toronto. You know what I mean? I'm always kind of like every now and then I'll message him and say, hey, good win. You know what I mean, for Toronto. So I'm very happy that, if it wasn't New York City, it was Toronto. So that, it's sort of like a, second favorite for me, and I'm very happy that it's there. And plus I've always wanted to go to Toronto,
I haven't been there yet either.
I was planning a trip to Buffalo a couple years ago. Didn't happen. But I wanted to also try to cross the border into Toronto and check it out. So I'm really looking forward to, spending some time up there with the guys too. You know what I mean? We get all together and get a nice, thing going. Also for our New York City, maybe our tri-state Napoli club guys, stay tuned for possibly a surprise with New York City FC next season. When Toronto comes to town, because I might have an in on like getting a supporter section for Insigne going. I'm not gonna reveal too much. I'm not gonna reveal
a guy, Raff?
I'm not gonna reveal who my in might be. But yeah, there you go. So we'll have to figure that out.
Quick plug here, Raff, of Midnight Sports. So the reason why I missed last week's episode was because I'm involved in a project, Midnight Sports, and what we do is we're streaming. It's a project that we're working on, my brother and I, and things, and we live stream for events, games, things like that. And we actually had a game. It was a charity game with the HD, so it's the Huntington's Disease Society of America, as well as the Huntington Society in Canada, had the first annual charity game to raise awareness for Huntington's disease. So, we've been working closely with them for a couple weeks, and I had so much work, so much preparation to do that I literally didn't have the time to come on the show. And then I had to step out, come back in. It was just too late. So it was the reason why I was absent last week. But, if you or loved one, a friend, or anybody you know suffer from this disease, definitely check it out. HDSA.org in America or HSC.ca in Canada. So let me plug that. And Rafa,
cool, man.
Yeah, man, it was lots of fun. Check it out. It's on the Midnight Sports YouTube. If you want to see the game, it's there. Love. Thank you, sir. It was
Matteo. I don't know a guy that knows a guy. I know the guy.
The guy.
I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to give up who it is, but working on something special for our Napoli fans in the tri-state area for next season. Hopefully we can get it done. And I'll just leave it at that until we figure it out. So
quick recap. I mean, maybe we'll spend like 1 minute here. It was somewhat, it wasn't the most exciting game, obviously. But we did clinch third with it. So we won
we clinched third. I think that's the most important part of this game, man.
Yeah.
For me, especially sorry, Cliff. Not sorry. But honestly, a lot of Juventini make fun of this, and maybe they have somewhat of a right, but finishing ahead of Juventus, especially after all of that, the 9 years that we spent trying to catch them, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
was very important to me, and it was important to a lot of fans, I think, and just the fact that we, we're going to finish higher than that. We podium on Serie A, we finish third, in Serie A. And that was kind of it. You know what I mean? Like it just, for me, it didn't matter too much. how we won, how we looked the game. I thought we looked pretty good, to be honest with you. We relegated Genoa. That's really nice. You know what I mean? Insigne played pretty. Honestly, Insigne had a great first half. Had a really good, good show. He ended up with the goal. You know what I mean? It was. It wouldn't be an Insigne match if he didn't miss a penalty. But this time he got lucky.
I was gonna say that,
dude. This time he got lucky enough to have it retaken. So for those who aren't living under a rock, or might be living under a rock, Insigne slammed his penalty on the post. Di Lorenzo gets the rebound and puts it in. So it was 2-0 for a moment, and then the referee stops the celebrations and calls encroachment, the offensive encroachment on Di Lorenzo's part. So orders the kick to be taken over again. And
you think Di Lorenzo did it on purpose, Rafa?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe
he was looking over at Lorenzo. Was like, yo, he's looking nervous. I think he's gonna miss it. I think they're gonna know where he's gonna go. Let me encroach a little bit just in case.
Dude, it's funny because I think the fact that he did miss it and Di Lorenzo encroached gave Insigne when the referee decided the penalty's getting taken over again. Insigne was like, "All right, I got this. I'm not missing again." That's crazy.
No,
if he had missed it
again, that was sub him right then and there. Because
I do want to say one thing. Though. For all of the Insigne penalty misses this year, I think it was like 5. Might have been 5. And I think it's only like 10 for his career. Honestly, he hasn't missed a lot of penalties. But for all of the Insigne penalty misses, none of them resulted in a loss this year. So I don't really care about the penalties that he missed. I don't care about that. You know what I mean?
People miss penalties.
I also don't.
Go on.
Sure. No. 2022. What do you mean 94?
That too. Yeah, but come on, that profile by Roberto Baggio. Like that, I mean, you're talking about that was the ultimate. That was the ultimate miss.
But here's the thing, a lot of fans outside of the Italian soccer community, they remember Baggio for the penalty miss, but most fans and most Italian fans remember him for everything else.
Oh,
you know what
right.
I mean?
No, I get it. It.
Why should Insigne be labeled Pensigne? Especially so he scored what was he on 12 goals this year or 11, and maybe 10 of them were penalties, but that's this season. That's not his whole career. Like there's a reason they called him Penaldo, because Ronaldo scored a whole shitload of penalties. There's a reason why Immobile gets like the stigma as a penalty merchant. You know what I mean? Because in his career he's taken penalty after penalty after penalty.
Right.
Insigne has only been, this is his worst season from open play as far as goals go. But I mean, there's no reason to call him Pensigne. It's only been this season. I don't know. I'm over that. You know what I mean? I'm over all the negative slander on Insigne. I think it's done. He's gone. He's leaving. Let's just enjoy. Let's enjoy celebrating him. Let's enjoy, remembering him on this team. And then we have to move forward. So there you go.
Speaking of moving forward, let's do a beast of the match, Rafa, real quick. Guys, who do you think your beast of the match was? Well, there's no secret here, but let's do it.
Let's do it.
I mean,
well, what do you know?
surprise, right?
Listen. He was always gonna get the beast of the match today, but I firmly believe that he probably would have won beast of the match anyway. His first half was pretty amazing.
Right.
He had a pretty decent first half, man.
Right.
He really did.
Agreed.
He did.
Agreed. I think he did well.
And, I don't know if it was under the circumstances or what, but I saw him running a lot harder. I saw him, pulling off some moves. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was that first half little what was it, like the play over the defender and then the juke on the other defender, and then he took a shot, and Sidigo actually saved it and went out for a penalty, and then or a corner, and then he went like this to amp up the curva, and I think he did. He put crosses in well. He got to the ball well. I think he just hit the adrenaline of the moment. I think he was like, you know what, I have to perform here. And sometimes I'm looking at it, wishing this season, like, where was this all season? But at the same time, I feel like he was playing for a little bit more this game. So, I think
absolutely.
he was the beast.
Yeah, Raff, I mean, you said it best. He did earn the beast. I mean, again, it was a game for me that was somewhat underwhelming. Nobody really stuck out to me that much, except for Lorenzo, and possibly because of that reason. But either way, it's like now that I did this, now that we're here right now live and doing this, like I think back when we started the show and when we spoke about Insigne, good or bad, and to see him leave, I know he had a rough season, fair enough. And the past 3 years, maybe 3 seasons with Napoli alone has been somewhat turbulent. So it kind of sucks to see him going out kind of like under some of those conditions. But this was a kid, who spent 10 years of his career, and to see him fall on the floor and just bawl. I mean, for me, the type of emotion, aside from his play, the emotion that he must have been feeling leading up to that very game, and then going onto the field and playing. I mean, to me, that's beastly. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the definition of a beast. And I can't imagine what was going through his mind, what was going, or what he was feeling, the nerves of this. And I think he let it all out, and it was pretty obvious. But
yeah,
for that alone, saluting his home, I mean, that could be a very special moment for anybody, any player, any job, anything. If you retire or this, I mean, it's a big deal. So for that alone, Insigne is the beast of the match for me.
Yeah, I agree. And it's special. It's special when you get to do what you love to do for your home crowd. It's special when you get to do what you love to do for the team that you grew up supporting. Kid from Frata Maggiore who was a Napoli fan. And a lot of a lot of those people out there will sort of hit back at me. I think you have to understand that the pressure was too big for him. Yeah. Throughout his career, to perform as a Napolitan on Napoli is very difficult, and especially these days where like social media, they see your every move, they hear your every breath. It's not like it was before in the days that Ciro Ferrara played, or like in the days that Bruscolotti played, or it's a difficult thing, and I don't understand it because I've never had to do that, so imagine. I understand it is what I'm trying to say, and I've never had to do that. So imagine someone like Insigne who actually had to do that. And he admitted it himself. He's not the most, I don't want to say mentally stable, but he's not the most. He's a very emotional character,
emotional guy, right?
As is all Napoli time. He knows that he lacked a few of the qualities that you need to be a captain. And I think when he got the armband, the pressure went on him a little more to perform. And some points he handled it well, and some points he didn't. But his legacy for me is going to be, he created some memorable moments. He did the best he could with the armband, and he represented Neapolitans the Neapolitan way. And he had a love-hate relationship with the crowd, but look at the crowd on this day. I mean, what a like even especially after listening to the latest in the shadow last week before the game, where
Yeah.
Michele was like, most everybody's going to go to the game because it's the last game of the season. It's nice weather. It's May. There's not much to do,
Yeah.
so they're going to go to the game. And that's a thing, to go to the last game of the season. And Insigne leaving is sort of secondary, but not as far as I've saw in the crowd. You had everybody on their feet for him, showing him the respect he deserved, and I don't think it could have gone any better. He deserves beast of the match, and he deserved everything he got on Sunday, even that big trophy. That trophy that no one knows what that is. So,
looked like a
Raffy boy,
duplex apartment.
It looked like a trophy of himself. They should have De Laurentiis should have just made a trophy of Insigne, like in a trophy form, because it was life size, basically.
Right. I mean, right. It's like it was funny, like, because when I was on Twitter looking at it, I was reading people's comments, and it's just like nada cafonata de Laurentiis, and I was like, I kind of agree with that, man. De Laurentiis is just is he he's just making a lot of stupid mental mistakes, ADL, this season, and I don't know.
Right.
Sean Sullivan said ADL pooped it out. It really felt that way, man. Like, what were you thinking? Like a small handheld trophy or a
plaque. I mean, I know he got the jersey in a frame.
Dish,
Yeah,
right?
He got the jersey in a frame. That would have been enough for me. I don't know what the trophy was about. Also, what was the deal with his jacket? It was hot in Naples.
Bubble
man.
jacket.
He had that bubble on like it was snowing. And then Edu with his like Fabian bun. He's trying to be like Fabian now. And it's funny, someone in here wrote it, and I don't remember who it was. I think it was Pasquale said, Joe Fischetti had the comment of the season on Twitter, which was,
I'll find it for you.
What? Yeah. Something about ADL and Edo, like carry all the players got to carry their kids out, hold their kids' hands out onto the pitch, which is customary for the last game of the season. They do that normally. And Pasquale said something about, Joe had tweeted out, we were expecting ADL to carry Eduardo De Laurentiis out onto the pitch, which would have been
that's hilarious.
Imagine them holding hands. Funny.
There we go. Let's give it some credit. Joe Fischetti, Pasquale said one Twitter with his comments saying ADL should have carried Ito out before the match. I agree, man. I do not. I know some people don't like ADL, but I do not like Ito, man. That guy's trouble. Oh, and this too. What was Vincenzo Bertillo asked? What was the weirder sight? ADL and Insigne holding hands, Ito's hamsick hair, or Spalletti's ball crushing?
I don't know. You see the way Spalletti picked up Insigne when he got subbed out? He like hugged him and lifted him up like he was a kid, man.
I love you.
That was kind of cool. That was kind of cool.
Cool.
As if they spent all these years together, I don't know.
Yeah, those green shoes today too. Yeah, saw that. The tight jeans and green shoes. But I mean, I had a little gripe with I've been. By the way, I've been enjoying Shadows of Vesuvius a lot with Henry and Michele. But he's and I believe Michele. He goes to all the games. And I mean, he has far more credibility.
He's the plug.
Yeah, he's the guy. He has far more credibility than I do regarding the atmosphere and quite possibly even why people show up to games. And I get it. We had a lot of friends. Sonomantese went, Salah went, Sereno went, Daniel Bone met up there, Henry Bell went. I mean, a lot of people went to go basically see this last game, but one can't deny that. And Salad had tweeted about the emotions that he saw amongst all the fans at the stadium, and even go ahead and said that, like, what we see on Twitter, which I agree with, what we see on Twitter sometimes, the hate, the just the impulsive emotional speech that we see sometimes really doesn't reflect the true opinions or the true feelings about Lorenzo Insigne, man, because
Yeah.
sometimes we just social media, we tend to we display the worst of us sometimes, you know, because it's you're behind a screen, there's not much accountability,
There's not much context either to texting, you know, like
but
when you it's like
right.
sending a text and you're like, how do I take this text? You know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. It's like the way I look at it, right? And Rafa, we're from the old school. So before social media, if you wanted to talk shit, you had to say it in somebody's face. And if you didn't, and somebody got caught wind of it, you know, you might have been approached. And I don't condone violence, but I do condone, but I do approve of accountability. If you have a problem with Insigne and you have the courage to say it in his face, then I accept the criticism. But until that point, you know, to me, it's all just shit talk, you know, and it's emotional garbage that we're spewing. But I respect Lorenzo Insigne, and I know he's not the flashiest player. We're so, you know, I know we sit on our FIFAs and our football manager, and we think we, you know, that forget this guy can get this guy. But listen, man, the dude put 10 years of his life. Like how many of us can say we put 10 years of solid effort, you know, doing this job? And it wasn't easy. Napoli is not an easy place. Clearly, you can see. I mean, even when we're supposed to win, we didn't win, and this and that. And even with some of those, what's the word? Criticisms that he received, he actually hung out with the ultras, like at their social club, and you know, Giuseppe actually brought this to my attention. You know, he spoke with them, he hung out with them. So no matter, it's like if you love somebody, you give them sometimes truths that are hard to handle, you know. So if the ultras or whoever gave Insigne some criticism, I understand it, because if you just let anybody do whatever and you don't hold them accountable, I don't know, man. It's like they'll start taking advantage. Maybe I'm not saying Insigne, I'm just saying in general. So I like when the ultras get involved, at least in that way. I know there was the whole thing with the bus in front of the hotel, you know, the game before Sassuolo, and some people agreed with it, some people didn't, but we scored 6 goals after it, didn't we? And it's happened before where the ultras addressed the team in the bus or in the stadium, and then like things happen because they're the ones watching, right? It's our hearts that are being broken constantly. I mean, they're getting paid to be there. We pay to be there. So we expect a certain effort. And that doesn't mean win. That doesn't even mean win or trophies, because I got into a YouTube poll of Napoli documentaries like a week or two ago. And maybe I mentioned this, I don't know. But if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But the one thing that I saw that was repeated through some of these documentaries was that Napolitans understand that you're not going to win every game. They understand that you're not going to just win the scudetto easy. They understand that. But what they do ask for is for you to put in an effort, for you to give your all, like sweat in the shirt, you know? Right. Even with Mario Rui, like any Napolitan will say Mario Rui had his defects, but the guy hustles. He puts in whatever he can. And sometimes for Napolitani, that's good enough, you know? And that's where the grinta is born from, is effort. You know, it's that energy, it's that attitude, it's the fire. That's what Napoli, as hospital as we are, we're also very intense people sometimes. And I think Napoli want to see that, or Napolitani rather, want to see that reflected in their players and in the game of the team. So, you know, I'm all for it as long as it's within reason. The whole car with Spalletti, I don't like shit like that, but you know, you gotta hold that guy.
But even he, like Spalletti, even came out and joked about it. You know what I mean? Like you have to, you know, it's a serious situation that he took lightly. You know, you that's what we need more of. More people making light of situations in Naples right now. You know what I mean? And I feel like Insigne was able to do that well with the ultras, you know, and he somebody in here said you know, he went out to talk to the ultras when things were not working out, him and Koulibaly and Gattuso at times, and you know, they were not afraid to go out Mertens. They were not afraid to go out to like chat with these people because they were their people. These are their people. And, we again question how he captained the team or not, but he gave his all. He gave his heart, and maybe it wasn't good enough. Maybe it wasn't enough for us to get over that hump. But honestly, I couldn't have asked for anything better, from Insigne, anything more. Moving forward, I think the captaincy of this club is changing hands is essentially something that we really need. Something needed to change, and unfortunately, it's Insigne to do it. But that doesn't mean we can't celebrate him. We can celebrate him very well. Peter, I see your comment, and I did see that. That might be for like another show. But I'd like to give big ups to the New York Rangers, who beat the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh,
that's right. Hey. Ralph Pizarro and mine's New York Rangers took out the dirty, dirty Penguins of Carm. Carm is a Penguins fan, by the way, which is crazy to me. I didn't even know. I didn't even see that coming. He might have mentioned that once. But yeah, congrats to the Rangers. They start their playoff season against Carolina tomorrow. And I guess while I mentioned it, Peter does say, did you guys hear that the Hurricanes are banning fans outside of the Carolinas from buying tickets? Very European of them. Yes, I did see that. I thought that was really interesting. It's, when Juve were selling to only residents of Turin and not allowing Campania residents in, that's very, very European of them. And I'm surprised it didn't take more of an uproar here in New York. Oh. But you know what? Whatever. That's just wanted to mention that because Ralph and I, we were going to go on yesterday. We're going to shout the Rangers out anyway. So there we are.
We were going to put on Ranger drips, but I think we'll save it for the next episode.
We'll save it. They're still in the playoffs. They're still in the playoffs.
Expect some hockey jerseys next week. Ralph, I want to address this one comment because I think it's important. Then I want to move on because we did. We sent out a tweet yesterday, I believe, and we asked our viewers to tell us an Insigne moment that they really enjoyed, and we had a great response. I picked about 10 or 15 of them to put up here so we can just kind of show it and maybe discuss it real quick. We're also going to discuss a little bit, we'll end the show, we'll cap the show with what's going on in Serie A regarding the relegation battle, as well as the promotion battle in Serie B and their relegation battle with some fun facts. How it all ties into Napoli.
It's
me and Raff were on the phone the other day, right? And it was like, holy shit, there's so much going on, right?
I gotta tell you, because we, obviously yesterday was a mess, and it just wouldn't have come off the way we wanted to, so we decided to change it to today.
Yeah.
But in that time that I got to like work a little more on the show, doing the studies that I did for these scenarios and these situations, I couldn't believe the correlation to most of it with Napoli. It was amazing. We'll get into it, but it was amazing, and I can't wait to reveal it. So
let me just read this real quick. Carmelo Frazetto says, I love Insigne, but the guy who was a little forgotten this week was Gulam. Absolute brilliant human being and been with us for 8 years. Big
so deal. I got to tell you about Gulam. Gulam was the best left back in the world for about 6 months, and he got really badly injured. And him, Insigne, Hamsik on that left side, man. And I know Mario Rui came in and did a really good job that season to take over for Gulam in 2018. And he did a very fantastic job. It earned him the starting spot. You know what I mean? Gulam was never the same after that. But I feel like had Gulam not been injured, had Milik maybe been available a little bit more to come in after his big injury from the season before, and then he got injured again in that season, we might have won that scudetto against Juventus. But Gulam, for me, I mean, listen, I'll only name one of many. He stayed in Naples instead of going to the African Cup of Nations in 2019 when the tournament was in the summer, when we were missing Koulibaly, and then he came back, without enough training. He came back from the final. They lost that final, and that was the That was when he came back and had the own goal against Juventus to lose 4-3 in Turin. Remember when we came back? That summer, he chose not to go with Algeria, and Algeria ended up winning the tournament. So I got to interview him after that Barcelona match that I interviewed Insigne the day before. I got to interview him after, and it's funny because I did the interview in English on the mix zone. He was coming out, so he stopped. I said, Fauzi. And basically, I told him, thank you for staying with Napoli in the summer instead of going to Algeria for the African Cup of Nations. And I said, do you think that might have helped you prepare better for the season? So when the translator went to go translate it, he said, no, because he thought he knew what I was saying. But he answered the question thinking I asked, how did the game prepare them for the season? And he totally disregarded he totally botched the answer to my question. But I was like, you know what? He's still mad chill. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The guy has done so much for the communities, and he did get to come on, and the crowd did applaud him. So, yeah, it went a little under the radar. But take a look at Chiellini and Dybala both left at the same time, right? Their last game was together, and it was at the Allianz yesterday, and it was a whole big party for Chiellini, and Dybala was almost an afterthought. Not necessarily. He got his due. But the party was there for Chiellini. There was a badge saying, Grande Chiellini, Il Grande Chielo with the 3 in the middle. There was no patch for Dybala. The flowers, the whole pomp and circumstance was for Chiellini, and Dybala was like just a little like slid in there, like, oh yeah, and Dybala's leaving too. You know what I mean? It's just the way it is. That's your captain. That's your longtime guy. Right. That's the guy who bled for the team. It's just the way it is, man. I'm happy Spalletti at least put Gulam on the pitch instead of how Sarri treated Maggio, and that was disgraceful.
Yep. Moving on, guys. Like I said, we had asked earlier, yesterday about some of your favorite Insigne moments. So without further ado, we're gonna put them up here. Little graphic for everybody to enjoy.
Insigne moments. Your favorite
moments, guys. Again, big thank you again to everybody who contributed to this. We're gonna start with we had a few people from Twitter, and then the rest there was a handful from the Calcio Napoli Club USA chat in Facebook, and the Discord as well. So try to pick out a few. There was a few repeats. So, but we picked out our favorite. Here we go. Danny 1007 2014 Coppa Italia versus Fiorentina. Raff, you want to touch on this real quick?
Yes, I do. Because before I came up with my favorite all-time moment, this was my favorite match moment. This was the first thing that popped into my head when you asked what's your favorite Insigne moment. It was the Coppa Italia versus Fiorentina. Picture the scene where the match starts about 45 minutes to an hour late because of the Ciro Esposito mess outside of the Olimpico where he was slain, right? Picture Hamsik Insigne out there talking to the ultras, out there talking to, the officials. Picture all that going on, right? And then finally the game gets started and Insigne just goes nuts and scores 2 goals in the first 25 minutes. The second goal being an amazing goal, ball that was left. I think it was passed in by Hamsik or left by Higuain, and Insigne just blasted into the. I think it hit the post and went in, but it was his second goal, and he did that little flip, like the front first somersault, landed on his feet, did the thing. They wore the sweetest Napoli kits I've ever seen in my life, the Coppa Italia special kits, where they had the Italian flag on the collar. That was so sick. I need that kit. I don't know where it is. I gotta find it at some point. I have to have that. I tried, but him being a protagonist in the Coppa Italia final was a big moment for me too. So yes, Danny, I'm
100%.
right there with you for that.
Thank you, Danny. East Bay Napoli at East Bay Napoli, the chip against PSG for his moment.
He scored 2 goals against PSG in the Champions League too. It was in both legs. I think the first was it No, I'm pretty sure it was Insigne where he scored a goal in Naples on a penalty, and then the goal against PSG in Paris, the chip. Oh, what a goal! I think it was to put us up 2-1. We ended up drawing 2-2 on a last-minute Di Maria goal, but we had PSG rattled. That was another letdown in that Champions League. We lost out by 1 goal to Liverpool, which sucked, but we thought we were going to get railed against PSG in that season, and we ended up beating Liverpool at home and then drawing 2 games against PSG. So, I mean, hats off to the team, but hats off to Insigne too. That chip was beautiful against them. Beautiful, beautiful.
Guys, if you like it, please give us a like here on YouTube. It'll certainly help us out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, or if you have some other moments that you recall and you want to put it in the comments, whether it be on Twitter or on YouTube, feel free to do that. But yeah, hit that like button, guys. It really gives us a big boost.
We read the comments afterwards.
Yeah,
too.
we
comment on the posts and Twitter and stuff like that.
Right. Vin Bertillo, thank you, Vin, for your contribution here. Had the cops called to his house for the celebrations as he scored in the 90th versus Liverpool. I believe you touched on it real quick. Unforgettable moment, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I believe I was live, Twitter living that moment as it was happening. I didn't have the camera to the screen. I had it to me. And I definitely cried when that happened because that was a big moment for me. Big moment. When he scored that goal, I don't know, something came over me and I bawled my eyes out for that. It was just amazing. I think also that might have been right after they won the Champions League. I believe they were either runners up or champions of Europe. Maybe they might have been champions of Europe that year, but they may have been runners up too. I don't know, but what a goal. What an amazing moment that was. Amazing.
Joe Fischetti adds, thank you again, Joe, for the contribution here. Joe Fischetti says, game tying goal against Benevento last season with a left-footed tiragiro, and then telling his brother Roberto that he has a better left foot. Oh, man, I remember this one, too. This is a fun game.
Yes.
I believe we were down that game, right? I think we had to
were
come
down
back.
1-0.
Down 1-0.
We were down 1-0. We came back. We ended up winning 2-1 on a Petagna game winner.
Right.
But not before Insigne blasted it with his left-footed tiragiro. Yeah. Unbelievable. It wasn't even, with his left foot. I mean, impressive, very impressive. I think it hit the bottom of the bar too when it was such a great goal. Yeah.
Funny enough, as I was going through a lot of these moments when I was, I kind of tracked back to like some old videos to kind of refresh my memory for it, and I came onto a video about Insigne's goals, and he had a lot of left foot goals. Man, the left foot wasn't terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's right. And Carl points out that it was Roberto that scored against us.
Right? No, that was big. That was big.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward. Jacob Moore from Napoli Club USA. Not a play actually, but I was there. It was January 13th, 2013 versus Palermo. Speaking of Roberto, the first time Roberto and Lorenzo were on the field together at the same time on the same team.
Right.
Boy, this is a great one. I appreciate this one.
Yeah, this was a really interesting one. Roberto came in for 6 minutes at the end of the game. I believe that was his debut performance or appearance with Napoli. Sort of the same way Insigne made his debut. A couple minutes left in the match back in 2011, where Mazzarri let him come in, and or was it 2010? I think it was 2010 where Mazzarri let him come in. He wore like number 37. His jersey was way too big for him. But this was really cool because they got to play for a couple minutes together. I think that's something that every brother duo wants to experience in their life, you know?
Well, speaking of that moment, Carmine T. Tifoso says to us, his first goal versus Parma in 2012. Again,
This
also
was a
coming off the
special
bench,
one.
right?
Yeah, this was a special one because it was his first goal. I think he came in for Cavani. Pandev was on the pitch. This was your quintessential Napoli team from the early 2010s. You know, the team that everybody fell in love with, you know, with Walter Mazzarri at the helm. It was just magic. It was magical, and you know, it was off to the races from there for him because you know, it was just a fantastic moment. I believe in that season too, he scored a match winner against Genoa where it was a crazy one. I think like Cavani had scored, Pandev had scored, Mesto has scored, and like Genoa just keep coming back, and it was in Genoa, and he got the winner. Was it the winner or was Hamsik the winner? I don't remember, but it was pretty nuts. It was pretty nuts. That was a memorable time, very memorable.
Certainly. And he looked like such a little boy on the field, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, with a bad haircut.
Still right.
His haircuts got a lot more crisp as time went on. That's for sure.
That's good. He probably find a new barber like ADL needs to find a new physician.
Hey, Rex.
But so this next one, a few people submitted this one. It was the Mr. Strap on Twitter said the goal from half in Madrid Champions League 2017. At the same time, the Strat IFTV actually responded as well, like literally back to back, and also wrote the goal versus Madrid in UCL. We thank both of y'all for the contribution here. But
yeah, IFTV came in with heart eyes emoji, and I don't know if I can explain it any better. I mean,
yeah.
And if you guys go back to listen to Shadow, episode 10, this last one, Michele talks about that, where he was there at Madrid for the game, and I think you should go listen to that. But I remember the pressure of that game. That was the biggest moment. You know what I mean? In Napoli at that point in time since Maradona. Playing against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu in a knockout round in the Champions League and taking the lead 1-0 on the road. Like, and in the fashion that he did it, and the fact that it was him, you know, and in the way he did it, and in the anticipation of the game, that's something that, you know, really made me tear up when I watched it. It was also
beautiful goal.
It was also only like a month or two after I started doing this whole thing. Like I had been invited on Sempre and invited in a permanent role, and that was the start of my Napoli like content creation. You know, and here we are 5 years later. You know what I mean? And I got to tell you, that was just a special moment in Napoli history. Never mind. And the kits that they wore that day are one of my favorite.
Those are the black and gold, right?
The black and gold, man. That was just freaking so beautiful. So beautiful. Probably top 5 favorite Napoli kit.
Gotta be
unbelievable,
gorgeous.
But it's got to be the Champions League one. It's got to be the Champions League one.
Gold one, right?
There's only one. There's only one. There's only one sponsor here with the Champions League patch in between the gold Kappa symbols, the gold Kappa here, the blue N on the all black. Oh my gosh, so great!
Fire,
black and gold. Yes,
fire. All right, guys. Moving on to Partenopesce. His match at home versus Juve under Gattuso when he assisted Callejon towards the end to make it 2-0.
So I'm wondering if this was the match that he was. I don't know if this was the match he was talking about. Was this the one where he scored first? Was this at the Maradona? Because I believe he score a goal here?
No.
I wish Parteno Pesce. I wish Fran was on here with us to elaborate a little bit more. But I'm gonna check it out right now. I'm taking a look at it.
I'm gonna move on to the next one, Rafa, because we're running short.
Go right ahead.
But
you move on, and I'll keep checking.
Daniel Bowen, our boy. No doubt that goal in the UEFA Champions League versus Dortmund was my favorite. It was my last game before moving to California for several years. By the way, lots of submissions on this one. This was a huge favorite. Mind you, guys, I picked 15, but we had like 30, a couple repeats, but trying to make it all work.
This goal was particularly wonderful.
With the most random highlight. Peter Scala says,
I want to say
to make it 2-0, and then Ronaldo scored.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was Zielinski who scored first. Then it was Insigne who scored to make it 2-0, and then Ronaldo scored to make it 2-1 shortly after that. But we beat him 2-1. But that was at the beginning of Gattuso's tenure.
Mm-hmm.
That was also the day Kobe Bryant passed away.
Right.
That was also the day Kobe Bryant passed away.
Yes.
So I think that's what he's talking about. But it was such a big win because we had been struggling. Right. We had the mutiny. We had all that crap that happened. Ancelotti left, this and that. And then, boom, we beat Juventus at home. It was a big, big, big day. So, yeah, that was awesome. But back to Bowen. No doubt about the goal against Dortmund. That was the goal. That was the game that was famous. So the first goal, the 1-0 goal, was Higuain. Higuain scored the goal for 1-0. And it was off of I think it was off of a corner kick, but the referee missed a foul for Dortmund and didn't call it, gave the corner kick anyway. Or maybe it was, I'm sorry. It was a player that was injured for Dortmund. He came off and was waiting to come back on. And the referee told him to wait until they played this corner kick. We scored off the corner kick. And then their manager, what's their manager at the Klopp turned to the assistant referee and like gave him that. It's a famous gif. He gave him that crazy face and ended up getting a red card because of it, because he like threatened the referee or something. It was wonderful. But the goal that Dan is talking about is the free kick. It was his first Champions League goal, his first European goal. Just an amazing, amazing goal. Made it 2-0. Dortmund had just been the finalists in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. They were big. This was the big group with Arsenal and Marseille. It was the unfortunate group where we were 12 points and didn't make it through. But that was such a great goal. Such a great goal.
I got a few more here. I'm gonna do 2 more, Rafa, because we're moving on time. Unfortunately, I gotta cut this.
All right.
Check my chat right there, Rafa. But I wanted to highlight a which one was it here? From Joe Dianch. One of my favorites, the free kick against Roma.
Oh, yeah.
During the tribute game for Maradona.
Oh,
Stunner. Probably one of my favorites, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, just because everything that was behind the game, between Maradona dying, between him taking a free kick, between a ball that looked like was just floating with Maradona riding the ball and then going into the goal. I mean, special moment.
I believe he did it in these kits. I think that was the game that they unveiled these kits, right? The Napoli Roma game was the game that they unveiled these kits.
Yes,
and he did it wearing this, man, and that was a very special moment too. That might have to get bumped up to like top 3 moments for me, because he grabbed the Maradona jersey and kissed it and displayed it afterwards. What an emotional night that was.
Yeah. I'm gonna end it on there because that was just that was top notch. Guys, thank you to everybody who contributed. There were so many of you guys. Thank you to all of you. I had to it was really hard to make this list, but thank you again. And maybe in the future we will do more things like this. So thank you, 90-minute club. Thank you for that shout.
Yeah, and I saw your
best game ever scoring against Belgium.
Big moment there. Match winner against the top ranked in the Euro that we won. Big moment for his career.
Certainly. All right. Now, we're going to breeze through, guys, because we're at the hour mark. It's getting a little late and got to pop off soon. But we did promise to show you some of the stats about the relegation battle. So I'm going to put those up real quick. Thank you guys so much for all the compliments. I'm going to put those up real quick and we can talk about it. Give me 1 second while I do my thing.
Do your thing.
Here we go. Just a little bit of a reminder. Hold on. I got to take my little. There we go. The scudetto. I mean, it's pretty clear. It's obviously we clinched third. Milan, win or draw next game will declare them champions of Italy, whereas Inter with a win and a Milan loss will declare them the winners. Milan hold the head-to-head tiebreaker over Inter.
What do you think, Ralph? What do you think's going to happen?
It's Milan's to lose because even if Milan lose and Inter lose, Milan still win the scudetto. So I mean, it's Milan's to lose. I think Inter is going to win their game. I think Inter is going to win their game, and Milan up until this point, I mean, it's going to be tight. But if I had to guess, I bet Milan.
Okay, I think I'd go the same way. Who do you think's the better team?
I think Inter is the better team all around for now, but Milan also showed some resiliency. They're a team that with their back against the wall produced results, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they are where they are right now, fighting for the scudetto. So I think it's going to pay off.
And I want to say this quickly. I don't see this as a reflection against Milan, but I have to say it since I said last season. Milan had nothing to play for after the winter. They were knocked out of Champions League at the group stage, like Inter was last season, and it's paying off. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm not just going to use that as this is the reason why Milan is winning. Milan had issues last season that were addressed this season. So now I don't necessarily think they're even better than Napoli. I think it goes Inter, Napoli, Milan.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in terms of better teams.
Right.
But they, again, addressed issues that needed addressing and capitalized on the mistakes they made last season. And I'll tell you right now, the 5-game stretch against those teams that I told you they weren't going to win all of them. They were going to drop a lot of points, and Inter were going to catch them, or we were going to catch them. They've won every single one of them. So, as expected, Inter dropped points, and then as expected, we won out after we were basically out of it.
Right.
But unexpectedly, Milan beat everyone that was put in front of them and did it with, a style that they never faltered. They haven't lost since that loss against, I think they lost to us, and then they lost that Spezia match. They haven't lost since. If it wasn't for the referee messing up in that game and admitting he did, where Spezia ended up winning, their last loss would have been against us, the Elmas goal in the 5th minute.
Right.
So, I mean, this is Champions League 4 is right here, Milan, Inter, Napoli, Juve.
Right.
And then looking at the UEFA Europa League, Lazio qualified with their win. Actually, with tying against Juve. Actually, I think it was the Atalanta loss. Or, I'm sorry, the Atalanta loss qualified Lazio Or was it the Roma draw? I don't know. Either way, Lazio qualified.
Lazio qualified, right?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
And then
Go on, Rafa, please.
no, you go. Go ahead. You go.
No,
you go.
No, I was just gonna go. Go ahead, please. I insist.
No, so Lazio finishing in 5th place. I'm not sure. I mean, jury's still out where they finish, but they qualify for the Europa League group stage no matter what.
Right.
But not too far off where I thought they were going to be in 4th, and it looked very slim for them to be finishing up in 5th place. You know what I mean? They were at times a very poor team, and I had them in 4th place at the end of the season. So I'm actually happy that they got closest to 4th. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you see the rest of the stats here. These guys all fighting for that 6th spot. There's also Roma, if they win the Conference League, also get an automatic bid for the for Europa League, which I think gets us another team, Rafa, to Europa.
It's very weird, Ralph, because everybody that I know is saying yes. Not Italy gets an 8th spot. The thing is that UEFA caps the amount of teams eligible for Europe per country at 7. So 7 is the spot. Villarreal won the Europa League and ended up being in the Champions League, 5 teams in the Champions League. And then the 2 other teams that qualified, one would have qualified for actually Villarreal would have qualified for the Conference League in the league in Spain, but they went to the Champions League. So there were 2 representatives in the Europa League and none in the Conference League. So I'm wondering if it's the same situation where if Roma if Roma get to 8th place outside of European place, but win the Conference League, is there 4 in Champions and 3 in Europa League, none in the Conference League? Or does Italy get that 8th spot? I don't think Italy gets that 8th spot. Like I said, I think the fact that you can't have more than 7 teams in the competition makes a difference. I think spaces diminish when it happens, but we'll see. We'll see what happens next week, won't we?
Quick, guys, to Serie B, we saw Lecce being they were Serie B champions, as well as Cremonese clinching as runners up. There's going to be a 2-legged playoff, a semifinal between Benevento and Pisa. The first leg was tonight, Rafa? No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was yesterday or today? It was today, right?
No, the first leg, Benevento beat Pisa 1-0 on a Lapadula 85th minute goal. So 1-0 Benevento in the first leg, which is pretty good because what do we want? We want 3 teams in Campania in Serie A, don't we?
Yes. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, if Salernitana stay up, and obviously Napoli is up there. If Benevento wins, we will have 3 teams from Campania competing in Serie A next year. That's awesome. Rising South. Loving it. What about Brescia Monza? What do they do? No, that's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. First leg is tomorrow. Yep, Wednesday. Brescia Monza. Monza run by the Berlusconi and Galliani, the former Milan duo. Brescia, we all know, were in Serie A not too long ago with Balotelli. Pisa, if they somehow make it, which is pretty cool. It is a long time since they've been in Serie A. But I want to really quickly mention that Lecce are champions of Serie B, managed by Roberto Baroni, the man who scored the 1990 Scudetto winner for Napoli. That's pretty cool. And Cremonese, right, with Gianluca Gaetano on loan, our very own, is managed by Fabio Pecchia, former Napoli legend, who scored a goal in the 1997 Coppa Italia final against Vicenza, who we're going to talk about now, who are trying to stave off relegation against Cosenza. With a 1-0 Christian Maggio 90th minute goal last Thursday. Vicenza had Superbike coming through at his age, getting that 90th minute goal, a right back. Come on now. Amazing. Leg 2 is this Friday in Cosenza for that, so check that out. But I love the correlation. I told you about correlation. You got Baroni managing Lecce, Cremonese managed by Pecchia with Gaetano. You got Benevento, a Campania team. You know, 3 Campania teams possibly. You got Maggio, who you know, represents Vicenza in the relegation stave off, and Vicenza is a team that beat Napoli in 1997 for the Coppa Italia, in which Pecchia scored in, which I don't know. It's just amazing. It's giving me chills how these teams fighting for these places have such a correlation with our team, and we're able to present that to our fans here. Amazing stuff.
Awesome.
Amazing
we'll try to
stuff.
get some more. We'll try to get some more stats out there on our Twitter wall for you guys to enjoy. But
one last quick one.
Go ahead,
the
Rafa,
Serie
go ahead.
A, the Serie A relegation battle comes to an end this weekend as well. So the scudetto is decided at 12 o'clock Eastern noon time here, right? And relegation is decided at 2:30. It's Salernitana against Udinese. It's Cagliari against Venezia. And Venezia is already relegated. It has to be, I believe, Salernitana with a point stays in Serie A. So all they need is a point. They've beaten Udinese 2 months ago. They beat Udinese. Why can't they do it now? Right? You got Cagliari, who are fighting for their Serie A lives. You got Genoa, who's relegated to Serie B. We relegated them. They last were in Serie B with us, came up to Serie A with us. The last time they won a promotion was against Venezia in the last match day of 2004, where they were found to be match fixing against Venezia, the team that they're relegated with. It's just amazing how everything is coming full circle here. It's something else, man. I'll tell you right now.
Let's get a big Forza Napoli Sempre from the chat so I can put up on the wall here, guys. Thank you again to everybody in the chat that stuck with us out, man. You guys are amazing. Big shout out to everybody on the audio podcast listening in. I know you didn't get to see some of the graphics, but be sure to come on YouTube if you do want to take a look at some of those things, man. Check it out.
You can look at our pretty faces by doing that too, and our really cool sets. Right?
Of playing the award show. Get off the stage. We started. we gotta go.
Yeah.
No, we started a little later today, so we're trying to go. All right, thanks for the show as always. Pleasure, Pasquale. Thank you for always coming on, man. Being such a good guest.
This is where I go. You don't wrap me up. You don't wrap me up. You don't shut me down. You don't shut me up. Listen, I'm gonna end my day by telling one last quick story. In the car out of nowhere today, I said to my fiance in my dad's Napolitan accent, "Hey, you know what, baby? I freaking love you so much." And you know what she said to me? This is how you know she's a keeper. You know what she said to me in response? She said, "Hey, guaglione."
That's amazing.
Keeper.
Yeah, shout out to the shout out of Vesuvius too, man. Certainly check them out, man.
Yeah,
big fans of them.
Good stuff, man.
Big fans.
The network is booming. With good,
birds are not real.
Content.
Yes, birds are not real. But yeah, thanks again, Rafa. Great show as always.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
We'll be here next week.
Bird poop is real, though.
Bird poop is real because it's on the car and I gotta clean it. So
it's very real. We'll be here next week. It's the end of the season, so we have to wrap the season up. We have to give these guys, we can do a more elaborate as the weeks go on, but we have to somehow talk about the season next week, right?
We certainly will. We're trying to set up a few good episodes, guys. Stay tuned on Twitter for more information about that. We're trying to bring back the Napoli 500. Hint, hint, wink, wink. For the end of the season, we're setting that up. It's going to take a couple weeks for us to do, so look out for that because I think with the whole Mercato and everything, it'll be such a fun episode. We did it last time. Everybody had a good time. I really want to do it again. So, are you guys doing a show off season? Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing them. Maybe not weekly, but we're gonna be.
Yeah, we'll be up there. We'll definitely try. We want to find some other Napoli content creators, things like that. Maybe talk more. We'll have Frank on with Michele. Maybe Joe Fischetti come on. Maybe Dom. Just to kind of talk things, talk about the season, talk about certainly when the market happens. If we get, if we get any more news, popping news. So.
Yeah, it might not be weekly. We are also going to set some stuff up for next year. We have a lot of cool ideas, a lot of plans. So, but yeah, Napoli drip shows. I'm looking forward to next season's drip.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep. All 30 of them, but gonna look
good. Spending another $1 million on it.
But anyway, thank you again, guys, and thank you again to all the contributors for the Insigne moments. To Lorenzo Insigne, good luck to you, sir. We'll see you in the US probably.
Grazie Insigne. Grazie per tutti.
Grazie Capitano. Good luck to you, Gulam, and the rest of y'all, whatever. But but thank you so much, and Forza Napoli sempre, guys. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.